Hey everybody, Nathan Bradford-Grant here, broker with the Bradford Group at Remax Escarpment, and today I want to talk to you about home inspections. Something that I've come to realize over 10 years of selling real estate is it's not very much common knowledge that a seller has a legal obligation to disclose information or issues that are with the home and with the services. Of course, the problem is that they need to be aware of them, and in a lot of cases they might not be. I mean, when was the last time that you went up into your attic to take a look in there? Or opened your furnace up to see what kind of condition it might be in? And of course, in some cases, the sellers might be aware of it, but they're also not aware that they are under the obligation to disclose, especially items that could be hidden from any potential buyers. And that's why it's very important for you to hire a home inspector before you make your purchase firm. So what do you want to look for when you're hiring an inspector? That's what I want to talk about now. So the average home inspection can last between 2 and 3 hours. Some cases it can go on a little bit longer depending on how big the property is, if there's a lot of systems, if there's multiple systems within the house or not. And so in that sort of time frame as well, it can cost generally between $400 and $600, again, depending on the size of the house and how much the inspector needs to look at. So when it is time to hire an inspector, there's a few things that you want to do. First off, you want to talk to your agent as well as maybe other family or friends who have recently purchased and find out who that they used when they did their inspector, and find out their experiences that they had with that inspector and if they were overall happy with them. One thing to ask your home inspector: how many inspections do they do? Are they busy? If they're not very busy, they could be out of training, could be out of practice, might not know certain things to look for. So if they're busy, that means they're probably pretty good. As well, you want to find out how long they have been doing inspections. What's their background? Are they somebody who's just come out of industry and has decided to become a home inspector? Or do they have a background in construction or structural engineering or HVAC systems? Something along those lines where the industry that they might have had a background in actually transfers through to a home inspector. And of course, you want to ask them, what is it that they would be inspecting? What is their scope of work when they do the inspection for you, how much their fee is, so that you know and are aware of that all before you get there. Also keep in mind that you do need to pay them directly, so you're going to want to find out what their terms of payment are. Is it cash only? Do they take check, credit card, debit? Do they require the payment before the inspection, after the inspection? All those sort of fun things. You also want to find out if they carry insurance. As a professional, they should be carrying insurance in case anything does go wrong during the inspection, or if they happen to miss something during an inspection. So now finally, you've hired an inspector and it's time for your actual inspection. So what is an inspector going to actually be taking a look for now? The inspectors generally will be looking at your main mechanicals and functionality of the home itself. So things around the outside, they're going to look at the approximate age of your shingles and condition of roof, downspouts, where the downspouts hit. Do they go away from the foundation of the house? Or are they directly into the foundation? They're going to see if they can see any evidence of cracking in the foundation as well. They're also going to look at grading of the home, conditions of the driveway, and all those sorts of things on the outside. Then they'll move inside and they're going to verify things like proper polarity of your outlets, if they are grounded as well. They're going to check the conditions of your appliances, if your appliances are included. Now keep in mind, this is their general scope for appliances in a lot of cases are complementary, if you will. They don't have a full diagnostics for those systems. They can turn on a stove or an oven to make sure it's working, but of course they can't verify things like accurate temperature and that sort of stuff. Dishwasher though, they'll run a cycle to make sure that it's not leaking for you. They will also be checking your plumbing to make sure that any of your sinks and faucets and anything like that do not leak. They'll run your tubs and shower heads, make sure that those sort of all function properly, as well as turn on your fans in your washrooms to make sure that they function. They'll also stick their head in the attic, as I mentioned earlier. If there's attic access, of course, not every home actually has access to an attic, but if there is, they will stick their heads in the attic to make sure of no mildew or mold in the attic, or evidence of vermiculite insulation, which could be asbestos, not necessarily, but could be. And as well as amount of insulation to give you an R rating of your insulation in your attic. When they're in the basement, things that they'll look for, again, if it's an unfinished basement, which is of course ideal for an inspector, they'll be looking for any sort of interior cracks in the foundation. Generally, of course, this is where the major mechanicals are of the home as well. So here they'll take a look at your furnace and your electrical panel. They'll generally be able to open the panel to make sure that you don't have any what's called double taps of electrical wires. They'll open up your furnace to make sure that you don't have any sort of condensation going onto the burners. They'll run them as well as run the AC if there is AC to make sure that everything is functioning appropriately. They will also generally try to give you as much detail as they can in terms of age of the appliance and expected life expectancy of the appliance. If they find something wrong with any of it, they also generally can give you an approximate cost to repair. That last point is an important one, because if there is something wrong, what do you do next? Well, that's after the inspection. If there is something wrong, we're going to talk about it, or you're going to talk about it with your agent and discuss on how to move forward. Is it stuff that is minor? And to be honest, every house there's something wrong with. Doesn't matter if it's brand new or a resale home, there will always be something wrong in the inspection. So it's a matter of, is it a minor issue? Is it a major issue? Is it something that you can live with or repair yourself? Or is it something that you absolutely will not or cannot live with? Or is it something that we can have the sellers either repair or compensate us for? That point is all dependent on how the condition for your inspection is written up. There's a few different ways that it can be written and once they're agreed upon. So there you have it. Pretty much everything you want to know about hiring an inspector, what to look for, time involved, and things that they're going to be taking a look for. Of course, there's a lot more to the process. If you'd like to find out a little bit more, please feel free to reach out. You can reach me direct at 289-838-2505, or of course you can email me at info@nathanbradford.com. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one.